This video how we actually can insert references into our Word document. In another video that you've got, you'll see that I actually spoke about how we actually put in-text referencing in, whether or not it's content or author-centric. What we're going to do is actually show you how to physically go in and put in the information such that you can actually get these in-text references inserted, and that you can actually obtain at the end of your document a list of works cited. I know that normally you'd be looking at inserting what you would have called a bibliography, but in fact we're not going to be just listing a bibliography, we're actually going to cite works. That could be websites, it could be books, it could be journal articles. So anyway, let's take a look at how we can actually insert these references. At the top of your Microsoft Word document, you'll actually see something called References, and we'll click on that. We'll get a new ribbon, and what we're going to be looking at is this section over here where we've got inserting citations, what we actually want to call our list, and the type of referencing that we're going to use. So we're actually going to be using Harvard in our list. And this is the type of referencing we're going to use within our documents here. So we'll click on that. Now, in order to insert or actually create the citation and put the information in, we actually have to look at our citations. So this will actually give us a list. And here we'll get a new dialog box on the right-hand side of our screen. Our citation style can also be chosen from here. And we've already chosen Harvard, Anglia. We've actually created a citation earlier so that we could actually have that in our previous example, but we're going to show you how we can actually create a new one. In order for us to do that, we're actually going to go down to the bottom and click on the plus sign, and that's going to allow us to add a citation. And here we're going to get a dialog box that shows us we're going to create a source. At the top, we're actually going to have a type, and if I click on this, you'll see that there are different listings of source types. We've got books, book sections, that could be a chapter, article in a journal, that would be a peer-reviewed scientific article that we would actually find in a journal such as, for example, the Journal of Applied Chemistry. Article in a periodical would be something you would obtain from, let's say, Scientific American. Conference proceedings are information that would be downloaded into a website from a conference. Reports, websites you'd also be looking at potentially. Document from a website would be a PDF that you would download from a website. Electronic source, art, sound recording, etc., etc. The ones that you would be looking at for your report would be book, maybe a book section, maybe an article in a journal, maybe periodical, and definitely websites or documents from websites. So we need to be able to cite all of these sources to make sure that all of our work that we are actually using is going to be referenced and not claimed as our own work. So let's say we're going to choose article in a journal. Okay, let's choose that. Now we're going to get the fields that we're going to enter in. So the Microsoft Word program is going to basically build the citation for you correctly. All you need to do is put in the information. So author, if it's just one person, that's fine, you can type that in. But I like to click the edit button, where I can actually start adding in the names, the last name, first name, middle name if it exists, and if there are multiple authors, that we can actually list this. So if you were going to use a journal article where we had 3 or 4 authors, we'd actually list them all in because we need to acknowledge the work of all the people who are included. So let's say we are going to put in Mark's. A first name could be Paul, and let's say he doesn't have a middle initial. And we'll add. And if we have another person, we'll also put in Ziggy, first name Alfred. Maybe there's a middle name, Y, and we'll just put that in. And let's put a third person. I don't know. Normandy, Francis, and again a middle name, D. Okay, so let's say we've added our 3 authors, and we're actually going to add them in the order in which they appear in your journal article reference. So if Paul Marx is being listed first, we'll put him first. If Alfred Ziggy is being listed second, we'll put him second, and so on and so forth. When we're done listing our authors, just click OK. And then we'll see that they're listed. Okay. Corporate author would be used if, for example, we didn't have individuals who were listed as authors, but we would actually have them listed as, for example, the Government of Victoria, or Australian government, or the Shell Company, for example. That's when we would use a corporate author. Title, and here if you look down at the bottom, it actually tells us what we should be putting in. The title would be the title of the document. In this case, it would be the title of the article in a journal. So it could be Towards Understanding How Salts Dissolve in Water. Okay, now, usually in a title, we're going to capitalize the first word and then leave the rest as uncapitalized. But if you do want to be exactly sure as to how you need to put this in, I would recommend looking at that PDF document that I've listed on the OneNote. That will actually give you the actual details as to how you need to put this in. I'm just showing you how to put it into Word. So the actual details will be in that PDF, so go and take a look at that. The journal name is the name of the journal again, so it's giving you an example. Salts. The year will be the year of publication. The volume. So sometimes we have volumes and issues within journals, and that would be listed in the journal article. So you don't have to find that you don't have to look for it too deeply. It will usually be listed at the bottom of the page of any of the journal articles that you would end up finding. So let's say it's volume 43, issue 5, and if we do have pages that we've listed in, we'll put in 48 to 63. So that's basically the details of this article. If there's anything more that we need to add in, we can actually show all bibliography fields. Sometimes the journal article will give you a month and a day, or a city or a publisher, but generally not. We can just add in those basic fields and that should be enough. Then we'll click OK. So what we've seen here is on this side, our new citation is listed, and in where I had my cursor, it actually inserted the citation. But that's okay. We can actually remove it just basically by highlighting it and clicking delete. And so it's not going to be there anymore. But if I do want to insert that information into my sentence, let's say I come down here, and I'm going to do a paraphrasing sentence, where I'm going to have it content-centric. So I could say, reactions happen when salts are dissolved in water and combined with other salts also dissolved in water. Now, here it tells us double click to insert. So I'm going to choose the citation. Here we've just added Marx, Ziggy, and Normand. So we'll double click on that. And here it will actually add our citation in the text as we write. Now you'll say, well, that's great. So let's say I put in 20 of these authors down here and have all of these citations. How do I actually get my works cited to be entered? Well, here I've got my works cited and it's already there, but I want to add this new one in. Well, I actually come to this, if I click inside where the works cited are, I can actually click right over here and I can update my citations and my bibliography. And actually will then add all of my information in alphabetical order. So my citations will likely be listed in alphabetical order as well, but I'm actually going to have my works cited here too. Now I'm finding that my formatting isn't really right. I do need to actually have a bit of space between my citations, and my second line should have an indent. Ooh. Just when I thought that was going to work. Here we are. We can actually come up here to our margins and we can pull it in just so that we can actually see the listing of all of our authors really quickly, rather than having all of the other text getting in the way. So this is a way for us to actually get our works cited listed properly in our document, where we don't have to do it manually every single time we want to put in a citation. Microsoft Word will actually do it properly for you as long as you put in the information properly when you actually insert your documentation information when we add citations down at the bottom. So we didn't actually see my works cited added, but I'm going to go down below and just actually say bibliography. Let's say I didn't have it listed, but I had all of my citations here. I can just come here and click on Works Cited, and we'll see that it's actually going to be entered in. And then I will go in and format my text. For example, going in, making my works cited title be in the center, having Marks and Smith be separated, and putting my indentation in by a little bit so that I can have all of my citations nicely arranged. And that's how we actually do that within Microsoft Word, and you've got this on your computer. So I hope that this has helped you a lot in terms of being able to get these citations put into your text as well as at the end of your document. If you've got any questions, of course, you can send me an email or see me in class. Thank you.